Well, we all want to figure out who we are. As Bob Dylan says, hey, everyone's their own creation. Just create it. We all want to know what that is. The affirmative, way to go forward, how to play offense. But I found that that's hard, man. That's hard. What's much easier, and I think the reasonable first step to figuring out who we are is let's define who we're not. Let's pick out those people, places, things we do, habits we have that don't pay us back, that don't feed us tomorrow, that don't give us green lights in the future. Those investments that don't have ROI. Those ones that we keep waking up tomorrow in a little bit of a debit. Damn it, I got a hangover. I had the same amount of drinks at that bar as I have somewhere else, but I got a worse hangover. Well, maybe it was the conversation people we were hanging out with. Eliminate those, and by process of elimination, sheer mathematics, you'd end up with more room for the things that do feed you. So it's a much easier thing to start pointing out, you know what? I keep doing that and it doesn't pay me back. I'm not getting my compounding asset on that decision or those people, places, and things. Eliminate those, and by sheer mathematics, we end up with more of what does feed us and pay us back, who we are. Making choices so that we can engineer green lights, and then sometimes they're mystical. We love green lights. They're the left lane of life. No speed limit, window down, T-top open, cruising. We got our direction and a full tank of gas. Let's roll. We love them. We're in the right line at the supermarket. We're in the flow, as it's called, right? Things are working out. Sometimes we're not even conscious of it. We were just in line and on time. Yes is the answer, and we're choosing the right things. But it's investments that we make, choices we make. I noticed in writing the book that a lot of successes I had were engineered by habits and choices I made that had consistency. That's what I call a science to satisfaction. I believe there is a science to satisfaction. I noticed what I was eating, who I was hanging out with, when I was going to bed, how I was approaching the day. There were consistencies that led to times in my life where I had more joy and more success, was catching more green lights. I also noticed times where I was in a rut through my journals of, you veered from these tried and true habits that you had that were leading to success and giving you more green lights. Ooh, let's get back in our lane over here. And sure enough, more success and green lights I started to create for myself. We also get those mystical green lights where we're just, man, there's no reason, but there's a lot of rhyme. We met the right person, and damn it, if we'd have, left 5 minutes later or 30 seconds earlier, we might not have met them. They might not be married with the family we have now, or might not have got that job if we wouldn't have been just right there on that time, crossing that person, going through that door as they were coming out. Those don't make any sense at the time, but when you look back, they connect the dots to right where we are. And that gets into more of the art of living. So that's why I call it the science of satisfaction leads to the art of living. And what we're going to do on 24th is try and get under the hood to go from the approach that I gave a lot of in green lights more into a process and tools that each of us can hopefully utilize in our own lives, particularly for you or anyone who's going to tune in and say, oh, I recognize that. Yeah. Oh, that's an aberration. To engineer more green lights, find that science so we can get better at the art of living. So happiness, as most of us are taught, or most of us see it, myself included, is result oriented. If then, if I get this, then I will be happy. If I reach this goal, then I will be happy. It's almost like a ta-da moment. If I get enlightened and spiritually, then I will be namaste, whatever it is. And over in my own life and from other mentors and wise men and women in the world, there's no ta-da moment. There's no hill that you get to the top of and you go, finally I did it. Because what do you see once you get to the top? 1,000 other hills, or another one that's taller that you're like, so you immediately upgrade your iOS of happiness and you project it into the future again for another hill to climb. So it's a moving target that you're constantly chasing. Now, I'm all for the chase and the setting of goals to go reach and the writing of headlines early to tell your story towards that. But what I've noticed is joy is more the verb. Joy is the doing of what we're fashioned to do and enjoying the process of the doing. And if we can get out of our mind that there is a finish line and just enjoy the race, chase ourselves in this race and go, the best we can do is get to the end of this life and say, look back and go, well, I didn't make it to the top, but how many stairs did I ascend? Or how wide did my stairs reach? Or how deep did my roots grow? Just tally it up. Hopefully we're in the black. Hopefully we're in the asset. And if there's life after this, hopefully the prime mover's going, well done. But I mean, I think that's as good as it gets. It's my problem with extra credit today. 4.2 GPAs and participation trophies. No, 100, the top is as good as it gets. There's no such thing as 110%. Maybe we ought to bring back D's in school. You know what I mean? It's like,
you're right.
Like if we can make a B+ in this life, that's damn good. Or if we can get, but we're never gonna get perfection. We're never gonna reach 100. We're never gonna reach the top of that staircase. And that is what we call happiness, that we keep bumping forward. But if we can enjoy the process along the way, I find that you don't reach lower levels than if you chased happiness. You actually reach the same levels or more, and you had a pretty damn good time on the way. Look, when I'm doing it, and I think when most people are doing it and in the joy of the process and head down, it's a vacation because it's solely subjective. I'm on an island. It is literally a vacation to have a singular obsession when you're doing that thing. Now, I understand it's a privilege. I have a wife who, when I go out the door every day to work, she tells me, I got the kids, don't look over your shoulder, go kick ass. That's a privilege. I understand that. But when we're taking an action, we have to do it, or to do it with pleasure and enjoy and stay in the present of the action. The joy is if you bump the finish line almost to an unreachable place.
Yeah.
If you bump it, Bo Jackson didn't just run across the goal line. He ran across the goal line and through the tunnel.
No.
You know what I mean? Snipers don't aim at the target, they aim on the other side. Therefore, you never choke when you're on the goal line, so to speak, because you're like, no, the finish line's way down there. And all of a sudden someone has to tell you, no, you crossed the goal line, you scored. You're like, oh, I did? I thought we had to go another 40 yards. What I don't worry about. I'm not looking forward to it, but I don't worry about death. I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm damn excited about what might happen when it happens. But I don't worry about it. I'm not in a rush I don't work hard to avoid it. I don't go looking for it. I'm not a fool. I'm not looking to get out of here early. Or I'm looking to get out of here on time. I'm also not working my tail off to try and go, I necessarily want more time. I think it would be good for all of us, and not just in the death and eulogy question, but in life every day, is we're told more is quantity. More years, more money, quantity. It's a vertical ladder. We don't give enough room for defining quality in quality. And if the quantity we're chasing, whether it's years or money or whatever, doesn't give more quality to our lives, then we're using the wrong calculator. And so I am I'd rather live, 60 happy, healthy than 120 not.